My mom made me give my paychecks to my sister for years. Now I'm a millionaire and she's the one in debt asking me for loans. If this story has your heart already, take 1 second to subscribe, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from so we can welcome you properly. I was standing in my childhood bedroom, 23 years old, holding my paycheck from the hospital where I worked as a surgical tech. Mama sat on my bed, hand already extended. Janelle needs it more than you, Kenya. You know she's got those babies to feed. My sister Janelle was 27, had 3 kids by 2 different men, and hadn't held a job longer than 4 months since high school. Meanwhile, I'd been handing over 70% of every check since I was 16. First from McDonald's, then Target, now this. Mama, I need to save for my own place, I said quietly, folding the check tighter in my palm. The paper crinkled, that sound somehow louder than my heartbeat. I'm sleeping on a twin mattress I've had since middle school. I can't even afford. So you think you're better than your sister now? Her voice dropped to that dangerous register I'd known all my life. You think because you got some fancy hospital job you don't owe this family nothing? Janelle sacrificed everything when your daddy left. She helped me raise you. That was the lie Mama had been telling for years. Janelle was 11 when Daddy walked out. She didn't raise anything but hell. But watching Mama's face harden, I felt myself folding like I always did. My hand loosened on the check. She snatched it before I could change my mind, already walking toward the door. This family sticks together, Kenya. Don't you forget that. The door slammed. I stood there staring at my empty palm, something finally cracking inside my chest. That night I couldn't sleep. My mind kept circling back to when this all started. I was 16, working my first job at McDonald's off Highway 85. I'd been so proud of that first paycheck. $247.89 for 2 weeks of work. I'd planned to buy new shoes. Mine had holes in the soles I'd been covering with cardboard. Baby, I need you to help out, Mama had said, cornering me in the kitchen. Janelle's electricity about to get cut off, and you know she can't let those babies sit in the dark. Janelle was 20 then, pregnant with her second child, living in a subsidized apartment with her boyfriend Vincent, who spent more time in the streets than at work. But Mama, I need. What do you need? She turned on me so fast. You got a roof over your head, food in your belly. What you possibly need that's more important than your nephews. Her eyes had filled with tears then, real ones. Mama could cry on command. I raised you better than this selfishness, Kenya. Your sister needs family right now. I'd handed over $200 that day. Janelle bought a new weave and took Vincent to Red Lobster. I wore those shoes with holes for another 6 months, stuffing newspaper in them when it rained. That was the first time. It became the pattern that would define the next 7 years of my life. Janelle had always been Mama's favorite, though neither of them would ever admit it. She looked like Mama. Same warm brown skin, same wide-set eyes, same curves. I took after Daddy's side. Darker, lankier, quieter. Kenya's got her daddy's serious face, Mama used to say, and it never sounded like a compliment. At Sunday dinners I'd watch Mama fuss over Janelle's kids, Deontay, Vincent Jr. and baby Aaliyah, while barely asking about my week. Your sister works so hard with these babies, she'd announce to whoever would listen. Kenya, go fix your sister a plate. Heavy on the mac and cheese. I'd serve while Janelle scrolled through her phone, acrylic nails clacking. Oh, and get me some of that sweet tea, Kenya. Not too much ice. Never a please. Never a thank you. Just expectations like I existed to orbit around her needs. One Sunday my coworker Deja came with me to dinner. Afterward, in my car, she turned to me with this stunned expression. Girl, does your mama know you exist? She didn't ask you one question all night. I'd laughed it off, but Deja's words burrowed under my skin. That night I counted. Mama had asked Janelle 23 questions. She'd asked me too, both about whether I'd brought drinks and if I'd packed leftovers for Janelle to take home. I was the supporting character in my own family's story, and I was paying for the privilege. By 24, I'd given Janelle approximately $47,000. I knew the exact number because I'd finally started keeping track, writing it down in a little notebook I hid in my tampon box where Mama would never look. Each entry burned: $350 for her car payment, $500 for Christmas presents for the kids, $800 because Vincent got arrested and she needed bail. I was making decent money now, $52,000 a year as a surgical tech. But I was still living in my childhood bedroom, still driving a 2008 Honda Civic with 180,000 miles that shuddered when I hit 50. Meanwhile, Janelle had a brand new weave every month, designer bags, and took the kids to Six Flags every summer. How you afford all this? I'd asked her once, watching her unpack bags from Lenox Mall. She'd shrugged, examining a new pair of Jordans. I got my ways, Kenya. Unlike some people, I know how to work the system. The system being me. The system being Mama's guilt trips and my inability to say no. My coworker Deja kept pushing me. Kenya, you could have had your own condo by now. You could be building something. But every time I tried to pull back, Mama found a new crisis. Deontay needed glasses. Aaliyah had an ear infection. Vincent lost another job. The requests never stopped and my bank account never grew. Everything shifted when Grandma Rose died. She left me $25,000. Money she'd saved from working as a hairstylist for 40 years. The will was specific. To my granddaughter Kenya, who never asked for nothing but deserved everything. Mama's face went tight when the lawyer read those words. Janelle started crying immediately. That's not fair. Grandma Rose loved all of us equally. Kenya, you gotta share that. I got kids to think about. Actually, the lawyer said, adjusting his glasses, Mrs. Rose left a letter. He handed me an envelope with my name written in Grandma's shaky cursive. I waited until I was alone in my car to read it. Asterisk, my sweet Kenya, I see what they do to you. I see how you give and they just take. This money is for you. Don't you let your mama guilt you into handing it over. Use it to build something of your own. You got your granddaddy's business sense, he'd want you to use it. Make me proud, baby. Stop letting them make you small. Asterisk. I sat in that parking lot crying for 20 minutes. That night, Mama called 4 times. Janelle texted 6. I ignored them all. For the first time in my life, I had something that was just mine, and Grandma Rose had given me permission to keep it. That money became my escape fund, my fighting chance. I opened a separate bank account Mama didn't know about and put every penny in there. It was the first secret I'd ever kept from my family. I used Grandma's money to enroll in an online business program. Night after night, after 12-hour shifts at the hospital, I'd lock my bedroom door and study marketing, finance, and business strategy. Deja noticed the change in me. Girl, what you up to? You got this light in your eyes. I'm building my exit plan, I told her. I'm done being everyone's ATM. By day I worked at the hospital. By night I learned everything I could about entrepreneurship. I read books about Black women who'd built empires from nothing. Madam C.J. Walker, Sheila Johnson, Janice Bryant Howroyd. If they could do it, why couldn't I? 6 months later, I launched a medical uniform company online, targeting healthcare workers like me who wanted scrubs that actually fit and looked professional. I called it Press Care Uniforms. I used $5,000 from Grandma's money for inventory and built the website myself. The first month, I made $200 in profit. The second month, $800. I didn't tell Mama or Janelle. This was mine. When packages arrived at the house, I said they were medical supplies from work. Mama never questioned it. Why would she? I was reliable Kenya, predictable Kenya, the daughter who always said yes. They had no idea I was plotting my escape one sale at a time. Every notification, every order felt like freedom knocking at my door. The confrontation happened on a Tuesday. I came home to find Mama and Janelle in my room, my laptop open on my bed. My business email was pulled up. Order confirmations, profit reports, everything. $30,000? Janelle shrieked, waving her hand at the screen. You been making this kind of money and ain't said nothing? While I'm out here struggling. My blood ran cold. You went through my computer? Don't you try to flip this on me. Mama stood up, arms crossed. We're family, Kenya. You been hoarding money while your sister can barely feed her kids. Barely feed, I laughed, a harsh sound I didn't recognize from my own throat. Janelle just bought a PlayStation 5 last week. She gets her nails done every 2 weeks. I've given her $47,000 over the last 7 years, Mama. $47,000. Janelle's face went red. You keeping count? That's sick, Kenya. That's real sick. Family don't keep score. No, but they sure know how to take everything and act like it's owed to them. I grabbed my laptop, snapping it shut. This business is mine. Grandma Rose left me that money specifically so I could build something. I'm not giving you another dime. Mama's hand flew up, stopping inches from my face. She'd never actually hit me, but the threat always worked. Not this time. I didn't flinch. Something in my stillness made her hand drop. You ungrateful, after everything we've done for you. What? I demanded. What have you done for me besides make me feel guilty for existing? The silence was deafening. I moved out 3 weeks later. Deja's cousin had a 2-bedroom apartment in Decatur she needed to sublet, $100 a month. It was small, outdated, and the pipes knocked when you ran hot water. It was perfect. You really leaving? Mama asked, watching me pack. Her voice held something I'd never heard before. Uncertainty. Kenya, baby, we can talk about this. I know things got heated, but we're family. Family doesn't steal from each other, Mama. You went through my private computer. You've been taking my money for years without asking if I had dreams too. I folded a shirt, placed it carefully in the box. Did you even know I wanted to go back to school? That I wanted to become a surgical nurse? I couldn't afford it because every spare dollar went to Janelle. Janelle appeared in the doorway, baby Aaliyah on her hip. So you just gonna abandon your nephews? That's cold, Kenya. Real cold. I love those boys, Janelle. But I'm not their parent, you are. And it's time you figured out how to take care of them yourself. I taped the box shut, the sound final. I've been drowning so you could float. I'm done. Mama started crying, real tears this time. We need you. No, I said quietly, picking up the box. You needed my money. There's a difference. I walked out of that house with my head high for the first time in years, Mama's sobs following me down the driveway. Freedom felt like breathing for the first time. In my little apartment, I worked like someone possessed. Hospital shifts during the day, building press care uniforms at night. I hired a part-time seamstress, Mrs. Lewis, who'd been laid off from a textile factory. She taught me about fabric sourcing, manufacturing, and quality control. You have good instincts, she told me, examining my designs. You listen. Too many young people don't listen. Press care exploded. Healthcare workers loved scrubs designed by someone who actually wore them. Pockets deep enough for pens and phones, fabric that breathed during long shifts, sizes that fit real bodies. Word spread through hospitals like wildfire. 6 months after moving out, I was making $8,000 a month in profit. A year later, $25,000. Mama called every few weeks. Just checking in, baby. She never asked about my business. Janelle texted memes occasionally, nothing substantial. It was like once I stopped being useful, I stopped being interesting to them. Deja celebrated every milestone with me. Girl, you're doing it. You're really doing it. We'd go to brunch and she'd make me talk about my dreams out loud. What's next? Scale up? Retail stores. I want to manufacture in the US, I told her. Create jobs. Build something that lasts. Grandma Rose's words echoed constantly. Make me proud, baby. I was trying. Every day I was trying. Then I got the call that changed everything. Miss Peterson? This is David Gibson from Medware Solutions. We've been following your company and we'd like to discuss an acquisition. My hand trembled holding the phone. Medware Solutions was a Fortune 500 company, the Amazon of medical supplies. The number they offered was staggering. $2.3 million with a contract for me to stay on as creative director for 3 years at $200,000 annually. I'd gone from giving away my McDonald's paycheck to being offered millions. I couldn't breathe. I need to think about it, I managed to say. Take your time, David said warmly. But Kenya, what you've built is remarkable. You identified a need and filled it with excellence. That's rare. I called Deja, who screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away. Kenya. Girl, you're a millionaire. A whole millionaire. We cried together, two black women who'd grown up with nothing, celebrating something impossible. I didn't call Mama. Not yet. I hired a lawyer, a financial advisor, and an accountant. I read every word of that contract. Mrs. Lewis cried when I told her she'd be coming with me as head of production. Triple her current salary. You didn't forget me, she whispered. You could have gone alone, but you didn't forget. You taught me everything, I said. We built this together. 3 months later I signed the papers. The money hit my account, $2.3 million minus taxes. I was 26 years old. And I was financially free. The call came from an unknown number. Kenya? It's Janelle. Listen, I know we haven't talked in a while, but I'm in trouble. Real trouble. Her voice cracked. Vincent left. Took all the money from our account, like $3,000, and just disappeared. I got eviction notices, the power company threatening to cut me off, and Deontay needs braces. I said nothing, my heart steady for once. I heard, through Mama, that you sold your business. For a lot. And Kenya, I know I haven't been the best sister, but I'm drowning here. These babies need stability. I need maybe $50,000 to get right. I'll pay you back, I swear. No. Silence. What? I said no, Janelle. I sat down on my couch. My beautiful paid-for couch in my beautiful owned condo. For 7 years I gave you everything. You never once said thank you. You never asked how I was doing. You took, and when I stopped giving you stopped calling. Kenya, that's not. These are kids we're talking about. Your nephews. And they deserve a mother who takes responsibility. File for child support from Vincent. Get government assistance. Get a job. Do what millions of single mothers do every day. My voice didn't shake. I love those boys, but I'm not their parent. I'm not your parent. And I'm done setting myself on fire to keep you warm. Mama said you'd help. She said family. Family goes both ways, Janelle. You want to know the last time you asked about my life? Never. Not once. I stood up, looking out my window at the Atlanta skyline. I'm not giving you money. But I will pay for Deontay's braces directly, and I'll set up education funds for all 3 kids. They'll get every penny when they turn 18. But you? Not a dime. The line went dead. Mama showed up at my condo 2 days later. I'd never told her my address, but Janelle must have followed me once. She stood in my doorway, older somehow, tired. You gonna let your mama in or make me stand in the hallway? I let her in. She walked through my space slowly, taking in the modern furniture, the art on the walls, the floor-to-ceiling windows. You did real good for yourself, Kenya. Real good. No thanks to you. I stayed standing. Why are you here, Mama? Janelle's really struggling. Then Janelle needs to figure it out. Like I did. Alone. I crossed my arms. Do you know what it felt like, Mama? Working myself to exhaustion and handing it all over? Watching Janelle waste money on nonsense while I wore clothes with holes in them? And you encouraged it. You made me feel guilty for wanting anything for myself. Mama's eyes filled with tears. I was trying to help your sister. By sacrificing me? My voice rose. I was your child too. But you never saw me, did you? I was just the responsible one, the one who'd always figure it out, so you never had to worry about me. You poured everything into Janelle and expected me to do the same. That's not true. When's my birthday, Mama? She opened her mouth, closed it. It's August 14th. I turned 26 3 months ago. You didn't call. The tears came then, hot and angry. I built something incredible and you only cared when you found out it was worth money. That's not love. That's use. Mama sat down heavily. I messed up. Kenya, baby, I messed up bad. Yeah. You did. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my office at Medware Solutions, looking at photos from the grand opening of the Kenya Rose Foundation, a nonprofit providing business grants to young Black women. Named after me and Grandma Rose, it's everything she wanted for me to become. Mama and I talk now once a month. Real conversations where she asks about my life, my dreams. She's in therapy, working through why she parentified me and golden child Janelle. I saw you as strong, she told me last week. I took advantage of that strength. I'm sorry. It's not enough, but it's a start. Janelle and I don't speak. I send child support to a trust account for the boys, but she and I exist in separate worlds now. Day says that's okay. Not every relationship deserves restoration. Some need to stay ended. I'm dating now, a kind, funny accountant named Lawrence who thinks my ambition is sexy. My business is thriving. I bought Mama a small house paid off with one condition. She gets therapy and stops enabling Janelle. She agreed. Some nights I still think about that girl standing in her childhood bedroom, holding a paycheck she'd never get to keep. I want to tell her, it gets better. You get free. You become everything they said you couldn't be. The money is nice. The success is nice. But the best part? Looking in the mirror and recognizing the woman staring back. Strong, boundaried, and finally free. Grandma Rose would be proud. And that's worth more than any check I ever handed over. I am enough. I always was. I just needed to believe it.